The conference room fell silent as Maya Harper looked at the check on the table. $2 million. Victoria Chen sat across from her, flanked by 3 lawyers, wearing a smile that could cut glass. $2 million to walk away from my son, Victoria said, to sign the NDA, to disappear from our lives forever. Maya stared at the number, more money than she'd see in 10 years of working. Miss Harper, this is a generous offer, one of the lawyers said, for someone in your position. Victoria leaned forward. Let me be clear, dear. Girls like you don't marry into families like ours. You're a phase, a rebellion, and phases end. Maya felt something cold settle in her chest. This was 3 days before her wedding. She picked up the pen. Victoria's smile widened. Then Maya set it down. I have a counteroffer, she said quietly. Excuse me? Maya stood up, straightened her jacket, and looked Victoria Chen dead in the eyes. Go to hell. She walked out. What Victoria didn't know, what none of them knew, was that Maya had already made a phone call that morning, and the man on the other end never forgot a debt. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you how a financial analyst from nowhere became the woman who destroyed a dynasty. Before we continue, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Your engagement powers these stories. And hit subscribe, because what happens next will leave you speechless.
6 months earlier, Maya Harper met Ethan Chen in a coffee shop. Not at some charity gala, not through mutual friends. A regular Starbucks where her laptop died and she asked to borrow his charger. Keep it, he said, smiling. I've got 12 more at home. She laughed. Rich people problems. Guilty, but I'm working on being less insufferable about it. Ethan Chen. Heir to a real estate empire worth $3 billion. Hotels, tech investments, luxury developments across 3 continents. And he was normal, funny, self-aware. When he asked for her number, she almost said no. I'm not your type, she told him. What's my type? Instagram models, trust fund girlfriends, people who vacation in the Maldives. He grinned. Exactly. That's why I want your number. She said yes. Biggest mistake of her life.
Or so she thought. The first 3 months were perfect. Ethan was attentive, genuine, nothing like the spoiled rich boys she'd expected. He took her to quiet restaurants, art galleries, late-night walks. I like that you don't need me to be impressive, he told her once. You just want me to be real. There were signs, though. The way he'd ignore calls from his mother. The way he'd tense when his friends made jokes about dating down. The way he never invited her to family dinners. They're traditional, he'd say. Give it time. 4 months in, he took her to a hotel rooftop, one his family owned, and got down on one knee. Maya Harper, you make me want to be better than I was raised to be. Will you marry me? The ring was enormous. She should have asked more questions. She said yes. The engagement announcement went viral. Within hours, Maya's face was everywhere. The comments were brutal. Gold digger alert. He could do so much better. She trapped him 100%. Give it 6 months before she's replaced. Ethan held her while she cried. Ignore them. They don't matter. They mattered to his family.
2 weeks later, Maya met Victoria Chen. Ethan wasn't there. Traffic, his assistant said. It was a test. Victoria sat across from her in a private dining room, looking at Maya the way someone examines a stain on expensive furniture. My son tells me you work in finance, Victoria said. Yes, financial consulting. How quaint, Victoria sipped her wine. And your family? My mother's a nurse. My father died when I was 12. I see. The words dripped with ice. Tell me, Miss Harper, do you know what happens to girls like you and families like ours? Maya's spine straightened. Girls like me? Ambitious. Pretty enough. Smart enough. But not quite enough. Victoria leaned in. You become a story. A phase. A mistake he'll laugh about at dinner parties in 20 years. Maya stood up. With respect, Mrs. Chen, you don't know me. I don't need to. I've seen 100 girls exactly like you. When Maya told Ethan later, he sighed. She's protective. She'll come around. She didn't. Over the next 2 months, Victoria Chen launched a silent war. Maya's firm lost a major contract, coincidentally from a Chen subsidiary. Her apartment building was bought out. Rent tripled. Photographers started following her. Nothing illegal, just invasive. Pictures that made her look tired, unprepared, less than. The whispers grew louder. Ethan's friends stopped inviting them places. His father made comments. Son, you're young. Don't rush into permanence. His sister looked at Maya with pity. You know this won't end well, right? And Ethan? Ethan kept saying it would be okay.
3 weeks before the wedding, his father gave him an ultimatum. Marry her, and I cut you off completely. No trust fund, no company position, no safety net. Ethan told Maya that night, his voice shaking. And, she whispered, I told him to go to hell. Relief flooded through her. But Maya, what if I'm not enough without the money? What if I can't give you the life you deserve? She touched his face. I don't need that life. I need you. He kissed her desperately. She should have known then, but she didn't. Not until the day Victoria's lawyers called. That's when everything changed. That's when Maya met Marcus Kane. Marcus Kane. She'd met him once before, at a charity auction Ethan dragged her to 6 months ago. Marcus had been quiet that night, watching. When Ethan stepped away, Marcus approached. You're too smart for him, he'd said simply. She'd laughed, surprised. Excuse me? Ethan Chen, good kid, weak spine. He handed her a card. If you ever need real help, call me. She'd kept the card.
After walking out of Victoria's bribe attempt, Maya sat in her car for 20 minutes. Then she called the number. This is Maya Harper, she said. You told me if I ever needed anything. I remember. His voice was calm, controlled. Where are you? I need help. Address. Now. 15 minutes later, a black car pulled up. Marcus Kane stepped out. Tall, sharp-featured, mid-40s, wearing a suit that cost more than her monthly rent. Tell me everything, he said. She did. When she finished, his expression hadn't changed, but his eyes had gone very, very cold. They offered you $2 million. Yes. What did you say? I told them to go to hell. A ghost of a smile. Good. Now let me tell you what we're going to do. Marcus Kane wasn't just a businessman. 20 years ago, Victoria Chen had destroyed someone he loved using the exact same tactics, the bribe, the public humiliation, the systematic isolation. He'd been powerless then, young, broke, watching the woman he loved crumble under the weight of that family's cruelty. He'd built an empire since then, and he'd been waiting for the perfect moment. You're not collateral damage, Maya, Marcus said. You're the key. They made a mistake going after you. Why? Because you're smart enough to fight back, and I'm angry enough to help you win. Over the next 3 days, they worked. Marcus had been buying up shell companies, minority stakes, strategic positions in Chen Industries' supply chain for months, waiting. Maya had access to Ethan's laptop, his passwords, his family's careless conversations. Together, they built a case. Not illegal, just aggressive. By Wednesday night, they had it. A hostile takeover. Legal, brutal, perfectly timed. Tomorrow is your wedding, Marcus said. You can still walk away from all of this. Maya looked at him. Can I? No, he admitted. They won't let you go quietly. But this way, you go loudly. And you get revenge. We both do. She smiled. When do we strike? 9 a.m. tomorrow, right before you walk down the aisle.
The wedding day arrived.
Maya stood in the bridal suite, surrounded by Ethan's family and their hired stylists. His mother had chosen everything: the dress, the flowers, even Maya's makeup. "You look acceptable," Victoria said, examining her. "Try not to embarrass us." Maya's phone was in her bouquet, waiting. Downstairs, 300 guests filled the Chen family estate gardens. Cameras everywhere. This wasn't just a wedding, it was a statement. Ethan stood at the altar, looking perfect. Victoria sat in the front row, satisfied. The music started. Maya began her walk down the aisle. Halfway there, her phone rang. Everyone froze. The minister looked confused. Guests murmured. Maya pulled out her phone and answered it. Right there, in front of everyone. "Yes?" she said clearly. Marcus Kane's voice came through the speakers. Maya had connected it to the venue's sound system that morning. "Miss Harper, calling to confirm receipt of your signed contracts." Victoria Chen's face went white. "Contracts?" Maya said sweetly. "You mean the acquisition?" "Correct. As of 9 a.m. this morning, you are now majority stakeholder in Harper Kane Enterprises. We have completed a hostile takeover of Chen Industries' 3 largest subsidiaries. The board votes were finalized 10 minutes ago." The room exploded. Ethan stared. "Maya, what?" She looked at him, then at Victoria.
6 months ago, I met Marcus Kane, Maya said clearly. We discovered we had mutual interests. He needed to expand into real estate. I needed to stop being afraid of people who use money as a weapon. She turned to the crowd. Your matriarch offered me $2 million to disappear 3 days ago. Did you know that, Ethan? His face said he didn't. She called me a phase, a mistake. Said girls like me don't belong in families like yours. Maya's voice was steady. She was right. I don't belong in your family. She pulled off the engagement ring. I belong in the boardroom, and as of today, I own 42% of your empire. She handed the ring to Ethan. Consider this my counteroffer. Then she walked back down the aisle. The cameras captured everything, every angle, every shocked face, every moment of Victoria Chen's world collapsing. At the exit, Marcus Kane was waiting. "How do you feel?" he asked. She smiled. "Powerful."
The fallout was nuclear. Chen Industries' stock crashed 30% in 2 hours. Victoria had to issue a public statement, her hands shaking on camera. Ethan called Maya 68 times that first night. She didn't answer. The media went insane. Wedding betrayal or business genius. Maya Harper, the bride who bought the dynasty. Chen family empire crumbles after altar ambush. 3 days later, Ethan showed up at her apartment. Marcus had moved her to a secure penthouse. "Maya, please, I didn't know about the bribe. But you knew your mother hated me. You knew your father threatened you. You knew your whole family was trying to break us." She looked at him. "And you let them. I was trying to protect you. You were trying to have both, your family and me, but you were too weak to choose. That's not fair. Life isn't fair, Ethan." Her voice was calm, final. "I learned that the hard way. Goodbye." "I love you." She paused. "I know, but love without a spine is just pretty words." She closed the door. 6 months later, the Chen family filed her bankruptcy protection. Marcus and Maya sat in their office. They were partners now, 50-50, reviewing the final reports. "How does it feel?" he asked. "Empty," she admitted. "Revenge usually is." He nodded. "I know." They sat in silence. "Thank you," she said finally, "for helping me fight back. Thank you for reminding me why I built all this." He looked at her. "You could have taken the $2 million and disappeared. Most people would have."
Most people aren't tired of being small. He smiled. No, they're not. Over the next year, something unexpected happened. Maya and Marcus didn't just build a company. They built something that couldn't be bought, controlled, or destroyed by people who thought money made them gods. They built respect.
The business world watched as the woman who'd been called a gold digger became one of the most feared corporate raiders in the industry. Victoria Chen's name became a cautionary tale. Ethan married someone his mother approved of. Someone safe. Someone from the right family. He looked happy in the photos. Maya didn't think about him anymore. One evening, 2 years after the wedding that never was, Maya stood in her office, looking at the city skyline. Marcus appeared in the doorway. "The Chen family wants to negotiate," he said. "They're willing to sell us the rest." "For how much?" "Everything they have left." She turned to him. "What do you think?" "I think..." He walked closer. "I think we've already won. The question is whether you want to own them or just outlive them."
She considered it. "Let them keep the scraps," she said finally. "I don't need to own them. I just needed them to know I could." He smiled. "You've changed. Good or bad? Dangerous?" She laughed. "I'm not dangerous. I'm just done being nice to people who mistake kindness for weakness. That's what makes you dangerous." Later that night, alone in her apartment, Maya thought about the girl she used to be. The one who would have taken the 2 million. The one who would have disappeared quietly. The one who believed love was enough. She didn't miss that girl. But she understood her. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is the best thing that could have happened. Victoria Chen had tried to buy Maya's silence. Instead, she'd bought her own destruction. And Maya? Maya built an empire on the ashes of people who thought she'd burn quietly. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more tales of revenge, power, and people who refuse to stay down. Drop a comment. What would you have done in Maya's position? And remember, never let anyone convince you that fighting back makes you the villain. Sometimes the real villain is the person who thought you wouldn't.